Patreon, let me check this. Check one, two, check. It seems good. Patreon apparently is dying. And I say this because everyone that I've looked up on has less patrons now than when they started. And this is cray. This is cray because this is people's livelihood. They're trying to survive based on contributions from fans. Some people look at this and they say, well, it's just a bunch of beggars, desperate, get a job, etc. But Patreon is very different than a lot of people perceive. It's not like a Kickstarter to pay your mortgage. Okay, it's more like, hey, I'm going to offer you these services, music. I'm going to offer you books. I'm going to offer you videos or whatever people do. It depends on who you go to, in exchange for you guys basically giving me a living. So let's say you go to a concert and you pay for the concert, right? You pay to enter the room to the concert. That is the same thing as Patreon. You're paying to access what they took their time and their own money to create for you. So when people say it's a begging thing or that it's a charity, it's not. It's only a charity if you don't give anything back. Okay, so like if I donate to charity and in return they give me something that's of equal value to the money I contributed, it's not even charity anymore. It's just a transaction, which never happens, which is why it's called charity and not just, a service. But I follow Andy Biersack, or used to follow Andy Biersack, not so much because it doesn't really represent who he is. It's just him talking about sports and stuff, I guess, which is not why I'm into Andy Biersack. If Andy Biersack's Patreon entirely covered just him with his shirt off and rubbing oil on his body, I would be all over that. I'd be on that, right? But it's not, okay? It's just him talking, and that's like talking about stuff that I don't care about. And they haven't invited me on the show, so it's really personal at that point because I'm a snowflake who's so special and needs to be on everyone's show. Not the point. The point is I followed Pele K. I used to follow Momocon. I follow Stepanka, Laney Bots, Tobuscus, and I saw that, what's his name? What is that guy's name? Philip DeFranco. They've all suffered significant losses to their Patreon. So the question is, how do we continue to have an audience who will actually fund us? And there isn't necessarily a solid answer, especially when maybe viewership is depleting or, interest in funding people isn't there anymore. But I just wanted to bring my analysis of all this, my opinion of everything going on, and say that, yeah, Patreon is dying. My Patreon has suffered losses of like 500 people. So that's almost half. But as a result, I'm just going to work harder and I'm going to be more creative and I'm going to hope that more people fund me. But if they don't, then I have to think outside the box. I already have a second job on top of the YouTube thing and on top of the Patreon thing. I have a second job. It's one that is a big variable. It's kind of like a commission thing. I'm not a door-to-door salesman, I promise. But wouldn't that be crazy if I just knocked on your door one day? I just show up and I'm like, hi, I'm Greg. And you're like, character? Like, I want to sell you a vacuum. Why can't you just shut up about knowing me and buy the vacuum? I got recognized at Costco yesterday. I get recognized a lot. I need more money. I need so much more money to be recognized as much as I do. Anyway, yeah, Patreon is dying. It's sad, just like YouNow was dying. Like, people would originally go to YouNow and then their viewership would deplete and then they leave, right? That's what happened to so many people. And it's sad, but out with the old and with the new. We just got to accept it. This is the circle of life. So get creative or die. I'm kidding. Anyway, have a great day, guys.